Welcome to our webinar about our product Xtract Universal, which enables you to integrate SAP systems to several destinations. We are very delighted to welcome you, or to welcome so many people this morning. Thank you very much for joining our webinar. At first, we want to introduce ourselves. The technical part will be made by Kode Elsein. He's our SVP for the product management and pre-sales department. And my name is Benjamin Völl, and I'm our marketing and sales manager. So let's start with the agenda. At first, we will give you an overview about Theobald software and our products. After that, we will show you which features Xtract Universal offers. The main part will be our live demo, so here you can learn how Xtract Universal exactly works. At the end, as I already said, we have a Q&A session. So let's start with the overview about Theobald software. Theobald software was founded in 2004, so meanwhile we are experts for SAP integration for more than 10 years. That means we make only SAP integration and we can only SAP integration. In this section we have already over 2,200 customers worldwide. It starts from the Swabian middle class company to several big companies. We have also some exotic birds, for example, the platinum mine in Zimbabwe or the dairy in Kenya. We have about 20 employees worldwide. The most of them are based here in Stuttgart in our headquarters. But we have also subsidiaries in the direct neighborhood of Microsoft in Seattle and in Hong Kong. We have over 180 partners worldwide, which are very, very important for us because they implemented our tools in their solutions and in their product portfolio. Besides that, as you can see, we make 95% of our revenue with license sales. So our partner make the whole consulting part. That's why they are very, very important for us. As I already said, we have customers from all branches. So it starts from big oil companies to healthcare and foodstuff companies. Obviously, as a company based in Stuttgart, it is common courtesy to have Daimler as a customer. So, Kodo, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Thank you, Benjamin. Hi again.
Just a moment. I will make you the presenter, so now you can start.
Okay, perfect. So, okay. I'm delighted to talk to you today about SAP integration with Xtract Universal. As Benny said, my name is Kode Elsein and I'm SVP for Pre-Sales and Product Management. In today's webinar, I would like to cover 3 points. I would start with our product portfolio. Then I will explain the architecture and features of Xtract Universal, and finally I will give you a live demo to see how Xtract Universal works. So let me start with our portfolio, which has constantly expanded over the last few years. So we specialize in SAP interface, SAP connectors. We distinguish between the right area of process integration, where you see the products ERP Connect services and ERP Connect. This is the area for process integration, where SAP system integrates with, for example, portals like SharePoint or SharePoint Online, with workflows, with cloud applications, or just with the machine control. One example of that is if you have, for example, a process order in SAP and you want to transfer this process order parts directly to a manufacturing machine, for example, you can use ERP Connect for that. Or if you have SharePoint and there you have, for example, a leave request where you would like to integrate it with SAP, or you would like just to integrate SAP master data in SharePoint, that will be possible, for example, using ERP Connect services. The left area is for BI, business intelligence. So that has to do with mass data extraction. Here, we as company traditionally come from the environment of the SQL Server, that is the data warehouse solution from Microsoft. And a large part of our customers use this Microsoft technology. As of 2008, we have started to support non-Microsoft solutions to integrate with SAP. So that resulted in collaboration with different technology companies, like, for example, Board, like Nintex, like Alteryx, Tableau, and so far. And you see the different products on the left side for that. Xtract Universal is our connector that can universally support a whole range of different data warehouse and BI tools. And that is what we'll talk today about that. Okay. So here on the slide, we see the architecture of Xtract Universal. So on the left side, you have your SAP system. So it can be ERP system, it can be CRM system, or any other system in the business suite, or it can be SAP BW, SAP Business Warehouse. Ensure all SAP modules, for example, in ERP and ECC, are supported. The integration is done using the SAP RFC protocol. We are an SAP partner, and the product is certified by SAP for the connectivity. Xtract Universal, as you see, it has two components. It is a middleware component for extracting the data from the SAP system for processing them in the different destinations. It has two components. One is the server component that runs as the Windows service on a computer or a server in your network. And the other component is the Xtract Universal Designer that you can install, for example, on your desktop. So you will use the designer to connect to the Xtract Universal server and define there, for example, your SAP connection, to which SAP system you would like to connect, to an SAP ERP, to an SAP BW, or you can connect to both. Then you can define your destination connection. What will be the target of the extracted data? Should they be written to a data warehouse, for example? Should they be delivered to BI solution, or would you like to use them in a ETL tool? When you have defined your connections to the SAP system, to the source system, and to the destination system, then you can start defining the extraction. Which data would you like to extract? Yeah? We will see later the different extraction types possible. Okay, let's switch to the next slide. Here you see the features offered by Xtract Universal when the destination is a database or a data warehouse. Many data warehouses are supported. It starts with SQL Server on-premise, or maybe Microsoft Data Warehouse in Azure. It can be Microsoft HANA as a database, but other databases like Oracle, IBM, Teradata, Exasol, and so far are supported. What does it mean, instant data warehousing? Here it means that the relevant destination object can be automatically created using Xtract Universal from the SAP source object. So during that process, the metadata from the SAP system is used and transferred to the destination. For example, a customer number that consists of 10 digits in your SAP system will have 10 digits in the destination system. And so, for example, the destination table will be created, the columns with the right data type. And then the processing of the data, for example, like the automatic procedure of transferring metadata and so far. So in the simple case of a full load, so the entire SAP object is replicated. But even more interesting is the incremental delta load process. That is the limiting of the download of the SAP data that has been changed or added since the last download. So the data will then be loaded and updated against the data already available in the destination system. And this data update can either be done automatic or depending on your requirements or on the client requirements, it can be extended to include individual add-ons in the load process and so far. The job can be triggered either manually, it can be triggered using any task scheduler. For example, you can take the Windows Task Scheduler or the SQL Server Task Scheduler and so far. Or it can be, when it is needed, it can be triggered even by an SAP job control system. Yeah. So it's depending on the desired architecture that you use, that you have. And if the desired architecture requires, for example, the use of an ETL tool or an ELT tool, it can be Alteryx, Informatica, Talent, Oracle Data Integrator, or any other. This can be simply added to the automatically generated destination objects. So it is supported to use an ETL tool. Okay, so now let's talk when you have an SAP ERP system as your source system. So there, as you can see, you can access the data in your ERP system using different components. For example, you can extract data from tables. It includes pool and cluster tables, so all different table types or views, or you can use table join, for example, to join data from different tables. You have access to your SAP BAPIs and SAP remote function calls. You can use them, for example, to extract data. Then you can use the query component to extract data from your SAP queries, or the report component to extract your ABAP reports and ABAP programs, example given from the module for finance and controlling. So in this case, the report will be executed on the SAP system and just the result will be extracted. And the elite class extraction component among these types is the delta Q component. So using this component, the extractors that exist on ERP system can be used as a data suppliers for your destination. In this case, all the business logic is available and a real transaction secure delta transfer of the data is available, and no installation on the SAP system is required, just a configuration. Okay, on the next slide, we will see the components that you have if you'd like to extract data from your SAP business warehouse, SAP BW system. So here again, you have different components. So the BW Cube component enables you to extract data from your info cubes and from your BEX queries. So of course, all queries can be used with their variables that are defined on the BW side. And any attributes of the dimensions and all key figures can be easily extracted via drag and drop in this case. So it turns then the multidimensional data structure from BW into a relational data in your destination. And in this case, for example, dynamic query execution is supported with using of variables and filtering dimensions, and further features like packaging functions and automatic slicing features are available for handling large volumes of data. Further, the hierarchy component can be used to extract hierarchies. So it can be your customer hierarchy, material hierarchy, or organization hierarchy, for example, from your PW system. When there are very large data extractions, so we recommend using the component delta Q or the component for OpenHub destinations. So OpenHub service or OpenHub interface offers an extraction method for cubes, info objects, and other PW objects. And this component support all the OpenHub destinations, including delta extraction. And the delta Q component is the same component that we have talked about. So here again, it enables to extract data from from data sources, from export data sources in PW, and it is recommended for extracting a big amount of data. Okay, so that was the part about the architecture and features of Xtract Universal. Now I would like to switch to a live demo to show you how the product works. Okay, so here let me start my Xtract Universal designer. As you see here in this case, here is the URL to connect to my server, my Xtract Universal server that is running in this case just as a Windows service on my local host. I just click here to connect to see all the defined extractions. What in general you do is you have to define at first an SAP connection. We can do that here. You click just here on server and manage sources, and here you see you can define different SAP connections. So you can, maybe if you just connect to an ERP system, you can connect to your test and production system, or maybe to development system, or you can connect to your PW system. For example, let me show you here. I have here an ERP system, ERP connection. So I said just the name, I need the connection to the host and further information like for example the user that is used in the password and so far. And here I can test the connection, so we can see here we are successfully connected with an SAP Unicode system. So that is here my ERP system, and here I have another system. It is an SAP PW system. Here again the same, I need the connection data detail, and I can here test the connection, and let's see if we are, yes, we are successfully connected with our PW system. So that's fine. So we have now a connection to our ERP system. We will use that to extract some data from ERP system, and I will use the BW connection to extract some data from BW. Okay, and the next step is to define what should be the target of the extracted data. Should be, for example, a SQL Server. As we have said, we support different destinations. I will start with a SQL Server as a destination. To define a destination, I go here again to manage destinations. You see I have a list of destination. We would start with SQL Server. So here, as you see, I have a SQL Server destination. Let me show you that. So in this case, the SQL Server is just running on my local host. I have here SQL user to be able to insert the data into SQL Server, and that is here the name of my database. If you'd like to define a new destination, it's easy to just click here on Add, and here in the list you see the different destinations that are supported. So as I have told you, we support, for example, ETL tools. Alteryx is one of them. Here you can select this option for Alteryx. If you are using Azure Data Warehouse, you would like to use this option. Database like IBM DB2 or Exasol are supported. If you are using good data in the cloud, that is supported too. And then again, HANA as an in-memory database is supported as destination for your data, MySQL, Oracle, or further database supported. Then if you are using Power BI as a cloud BI tool from Microsoft, that is supported. And then Click, so ClickView or ClickSense, the BI tools of Click are supported too. Again here, Amazon Redshift is supported. Again, Salesforce as a cloud destination. You can extract your data to SharePoint list. It can be SharePoint on-premise or SharePoint in the cloud. SQL Server, we have seen that. And then you can extract data to Tableau. It can be to the Tableau desktop or directly to the Tableau server. And again, two different databases supported, Teradata and Vertica. And then here we have generic streams that can be consumed. We will see, for example, later this one here, or data that we will consume it, for example, with Excel or with PowerPivot in Excel. So as you see, many destinations are supported. We will see today in our webinar just some of them. Okay, so that's all. So I would like to use at first my SQL Server destination. Let me go here to my SQL Server. So here you see my database, and if I go here to tables, you see I have at the moment just one table. That's fine. Okay, so let me here click on new. Now I would like to start to define my extraction. The first step is to select here the SAP connection. I would like to connect to an ERP system, for example. I need a name for the extraction. What would like to extract? Let's say I would like to extract, for example, SAP customers. So that is the name of my extraction. And here again are the different component types that we have talked about. So I can, for example, use this component type here to extract data from a table or from a view. I will select this one and click on OK. Now I have here the dialog for the table. Now I can search directly on the SAP system for a table using the table name, for example, or using the description. So I would like to extract customer data. For example, this table here delivers customer master data, as we see here. Perfect. Let me select that. And now here we see the list of the columns available. So for example, I can select here the columns that I need, or I can click just select all if you'd like to have all the columns. So let's start with, for example, here customer number. Let's start then customer number. Let's select country, name, city, and maybe here postal code, and then street and telephone number. So now we have selected the columns that we would like to have, and let's click on OK. So here we see now our extraction has been defined. That is the names that we have selected, SAP customer. We are using the table component. We are connected to SAP using this SAP connection. Now we have to set the destination. So I click here on destination, and from the list I just select SQL Server. As you see here, we are now using default settings. I will just click on OK, and later I will again explain the settings. Just click on OK, and now the extraction is ready. We can run it. We can do that either manually here in the designer. We deliver a command tool that can be used to execute it. For example, you can use it in the Windows Task Scheduler or in your ETL tool and so far. In this case, I will just run it here manually. Just click on this one here and run the extraction. Okay, perfect. Let's click here on refresh. So you see here now that is the status. It's green, so it's successful. That is here the timestamp, and that is the number of rows extracted. If I click here on log, you see here a detailed log of what happens. So we see the number of columns, the number of rows, and so far. So that's fine so far. Now let's go to SQL Server and check the result. So here again, let me refresh the tables. So now we see the table exists there. The table has been created automatically by the tool. We see here the columns that are the columns that we have selected. And now if we make a select, you see here the result is there. So these are the columns extracted from our customer table from SAP to our SQL Server. Okay, so let me go again to Xtract Universal and let me explain what happened. So here you see that is here the name of the table that has been used. We have here, we can use other options. Here are the options for creating or for dropping the table. So this on the SQL Server, the table per default will be dropped and created again. If we run the extraction again, here we have further options. For example, if you would like just to truncate the table or just to create it or and so far. And here we have the option to just to insert the data. As you see here, we have here an option for the column name. So in this case, the technical code will be used as a column name, but we can change that. For example, if we like to have the description and the column name, that's possible. So let me select that, and now let me run the extraction again. So what will happen? As we see, the existing table will be dropped, will be created again, and the data will be inserted, and the column name will have the description. So let's try it again. Okay, so let me make here a refresh. You see again, it's successful. So, so let's make here again a refresh on the tables. And now let's check again here. So as you see now in the column name, we have the description, not only the technical column name. And now if you make select, I have here again the result with the description and the column names. Okay, so that's fine so far. Here again we have the possibility to extract from BW. Let's do that. Again, I click here on you to create new extraction. I will select here my BW connection, and let's say sales query. And let me select here the component for BW Cube. Now again, I can search directly on the BW system. I can search for a query, or I can search for an info cube. In this case, let me select, or let me search for a query. Okay, so here I have a list of queries. I will select this one here and click on OK. So now we have here the metadata of this query. So it means the measures. So here I see the measures or the key figures. For example, let me take, for example, here the net value and the build quantity. And then I have the dimensions of this query. For example, I have the company code. I can take the company code, and if you'd like to have a further property, for example, the country key or the country name, that's possible. I just make it drag and drop. Okay, let's select now other dimensions. Let's take, for example, material, the sales organization. This one, this will be the customer, and then maybe here a date column. So now we have selected which measures and info objects and property we would like to have extracted from BW. Here in this dialog, in the variables dialog, you see the variables defined for this query in your BW system. So here again, you have the possibility to use those variables. Here you can click and see the value that exists, and you can use them, and you can here use all the operators available that you know from BW. If you'd like to define further filters, that can be done here on your dimensions. For example, for company code, you click here on filter, and you see all the values for the company code. So here you can select the company codes that you'd like to filter, or you can exclude this value, and so far that's possible. Okay, so when we are done, we can click now on OK. So again, as you see here, this is a query. It's a beta using the BWQ component. This is as our SAP connection destination. Let's go again and select SQL Server in this case. And again here, we can change here to have the description, for example, and say OK. And now let's run it. Okay. Let's make now refresh. So in this case, again, we see everything is successful, and that is the number of rows. And again, here we have our detailed log about the extraction. Let's check the result. Let's go again here to our database. Let's make here a refresh on the tables. And now you see here we have our query. Let's make it select. And as you see here, the result is in our SQL Server. Okay, so that's fine. Now we have seen how to extract data from an ERP system using the table component. We have seen how to extract data from BW from a BAX query. And sure, we have further options here. We don't have today the time to show each component. So maybe I will come later to show you the Delta Q component. Using an extractor on SAP to extract the data in incremental load. Now let me show you how it is possible to extract the data into different destinations. So the destination that we have seen now was just SQL Server, but for example, let's say you are using a BI tool, another BI tool, like for example Tableau. That is supported tool. Let me, for example, use this one here, the SAP customers. In this case, I just click here on destinations, and I select just my Tableau destination. So that's all. Here again, the settings for the file name and so far, and I can here select again for the color name, the setting, and set it OK. So the only thing that I have changed is just to set the destination. That's all. And now I can run it here manually. Okay, perfect. So let's make a refresh. So again, everything is successful. We can check that here again in the log. So the question now, okay, what does it mean that I have a Tableau destination? I can show you that here. If I go to the setting of the Tableau destination, you see in this case, a Tableau file, it is a Tableau TDE file, Tableau data extract, is created in this directory here. So if I go now to that directory, you see here, the TDE file is here. This is here the timestamp and so far. If you are using a Tableau server, it can be on-premise or Tableau online, not a problem. You just select here this option, and the TDE file, the Tableau file with the SAP extracted data can be uploaded directly to your Tableau server, where you can define to which site and to your project and so far. In this case, I'm just using Tableau desktop, so that's fine for me. Perfect. So now here we have the TDE file. We can use the TDE file in Tableau so far. So this is here my Tableau desktop. And let me just make here drag and drop and use it in the Tableau file. So here again, you see our columns. So column number, country, name, city, postal code, house number, and telephone of our SAP customer. I can go here to the sheet and check that. So for example, let me take the country key Okay, so here I have a map. I can change that, for example, to have maybe a list, and I can take, for example, the number of records in a country. I can use them here, for example. Now, I have here many possibilities to use the data. So as you see, it is very easy, and now our SAP extracted data can be used here in Tableau. Okay, if you'd like maybe to use, so let me close here Tableau. Okay, no, don't save it. If you are using, let's say maybe PowerPivot on premise with Excel, that's fine. What you need is just to change the destination of our SAP customers. Here, click on destination, and in this case, would like to use the OData stream for that. Yeah. Here I select the OData stream. Here I have again the options for the column name. Column name, I would like to have the description. That's fine. And let's say OK. For an OData stream, I need the URL. So here this extraction has this URL. I will copy this URL and I will go now to Excel. In Excel, I have the PowerPivot, and as you may know, in PowerPivot, I can consume OData streams here using this option, OData feed. I will do that, and here I can just pass my URL. Okay, that's fine. And now, as you see, the data are extracted live from the SAP system. And here I have the number of rows. Let's click on OK. And as you see now, I have now extracted the data live from SAP using Xtract Universal that deliver the data as a data feed to PowerPivot or to Excel in this case. To show you that that is a live connection, you see here, for example, I have country US key, and maybe I should have other country. Let me check that. Okay, we will make a filter for other country. So let's go again here to Xtract Universal, and here in the where clause we can make a where clause. So let's select this column here for the country key, and let's say country, for example, is equal German, and let's say OK. And now if we again go to PowerPivot, and if you make here a refresh, let's make a refresh here. So you see again, the data will be extracted live from SAP, and we have only 2,700 rows. That's fine. And as you can see here, the country key only customers from Germany with the country key DE are extracted. Another possibility is maybe to use Power BI in the cloud. So let me here show you. I have here Power BI account, and here you have data sets. So Xtract Universal is can extract the data and deliver them as a data set to Power BI. I will do that now. Let me go again to Xtract Universal. I just need to change the destination again. So here, let me select the Power BI destination. Let me show you the options for that, for Power BI. So actually you need a client ID. And so far, if we test here the connection, you see I am successfully connected to Power BI. So that's fine. So here Power BI will be used as destination, and that will be here the name of the data set created. And again, I can set here text and code for column name. Say OK. And now let's run it again. So now in Power BI in the Azure cloud, a data set will be created containing our SAP customer data. Let's make a refresh here. Fine, everything is successful. And now here we go to our data set. Let's click and make a refresh, or let's make here a refresh to see the data set. Okay, again, click here on data set, and you see here now we have our data set in Power BI, and the columns, we have the columns here on the right side. So again, if you'd like to select, for example, here the country and city, so we have here a map, we can change that and so far, no problem. And as you see, but our data now are available in Power BI to be used. I would like still to show you two things. One is, for example, if you are using an ETL tool. In this case, we are partner with the company Alteryx, and if you know, they have they offer with Alteryx Designer and an ETL or workflow tool. So for that, I would like here just to go to Xtract Universal again, just change my destination just to Alteryx, that's all, and set here the column name. And now if I go to Alteryx again, there you will find our tool Xtract Universal in Alteryx when you have installed. Here on the left side, you select the server, so I am connected with my localhost server, and here in the list you will see the available extractions. So now our extraction is available for Alteryx as you have set the destination, so that's fine. And now here in Alteryx you have further tools that can be used when you extract the data, so you can use any transformation to for example, sort, select columns, join, and so far. I just need here a tool to make a preview of the data. So that's all. Now let me run here the flow manually. So as you see here, we have a log, everything is successful. And here in the preview, I have the data. Let's make it here in a bigger window. And so again, you see our data are successful, delivered to Alteryx, where you can use them in your Alteryx workflow. Okay, so now we have seen different possible destinations. So the last feature that I would like to show you is using the Delta Q component. So for that, I have prepared a Delta Q component, as you can see here. Let me go in the edit mode. It is an extractor, SAP default extractor for customer master data in this case. And this extractor support different modes, including Delta update mode. And that is here the mode that I have selected. So I have configured and initialized the data source this in SAP so that I can use it in this mode. That means when I run the extraction now, only changed data on SAP will be delivered. For that, I am using SQL Server as the destination. Let me click here on destination. So in this case, here will be the table name and the column name. So far, everything is okay. So for preparation, I have select none because in the first step where I have initialized, the table has been created. So here, sure, you have other options. For example, you can say create if not exist. In this case, nothing will happen because my table exists. Let me show you that here. So here you see I have the table and I have the customer data so far. I would like just to extract the incremental, the difference. And the new option that we have here is for raw processing. We don't have insert, but we have merge. And that option is responsible for merging our SAP incoming data with the existing data in the SQL Server. So let's make a test. Let me now go to SAP system. And now let me change there some customer master data. Okay, so I have here this customer number. So let's select it. Okay, and for example, let me change here the name too. So this customer is Deutsche Bank, for example, and let's see here demo, let's say Xtract Universal, for example, and let me change here the house number. So let's take 136, for example. And let's save the changes on the SAP side. Okay, so that's all what we have done. And the whole management of this extractor and of the incremental loading and so far is done by the SAP side. Again, let's come to Xtract Universal. This is here my extractor, and now let's run it. So now on the SAP system, a job will be run using the interface that is offered by SAP for that, and we will wait for the result to see which data has been delivered from SAP. Okay, I can make here a filter, and as you can see, I can go here to the log and see what is happening, what's happening on the SAP side. So it is a little bit technical, but in this case here, a job on the SAP side is running, and in the log now I can see that I have the information from the SAP passing one row. Yeah, so it means this customer that I have changed has been delivered. So here we should still wait until the job has finished. So perfect, now the job has been finished on the SAP side. And if I make here a refresh again, you see everything is successful, and a number of rows extracted is just one. Let's check that. Let's go to my SQL Server. So let me close here everything, and now let me make here a select. Okay, so this one here, the customer number 1000, and now let's check here. So again here, the name that we have changed is right, and let's check the street and house number. So perfect, here the house number is 136 as we have selected. Okay, perfect. So that was from my part. That was just some possible destinations and some of the features that are available, and that I can show you in the time that we have for our webinar. Now I would like to switch to Benny again.
Yes, thank you very much, Kodo. It was very interesting. If you now want to check how Xtract Universal works by yourself, just download our free trial version without any restrictions and including support. You can find the trial version on our homepage. Besides our homepage, we have several materials which help you to learn about Xtract Universal. For example, our online help or the knowledge base. Additionally, we are active at different social media channels. So now we look forward to your questions. Thank you very much for your attention, and please put your questions in the chat box on the right side. So the first question is, does your solution work with S4HANA? Kodo, that's a question for you.
Yes. So as a company, we are SAP partner, and our software is certified by SAP. So we renew the certification every 3 years. And the latest certification that we have done is in February 2016, and it was for S4HANA. So it means all SAP systems that are running on HANA, on like ERP on HANA, S4HANA, but all the SAP versions that are running on classical databases and so far are supported without any restrictions.
So the next question, can you tell me something about the license model? Yeah, the license model is server-based, so every productive or non-productive server has to be licensed. We have two different parts. The first step, the first Xtract Universal step is the Xtract Universal Enterprise. As Kodo said, there we have only the generic streams. For example, we had OData today. As the next step, if you need a destination, for example, Tableau, Alteryx, or something like that, you need a destination add-on. And then you can extend the Xtract Universal Enterprise Edition for so much destinations you want. That means you can put or you can choose Tableau, you can take Alteryx, and then you pay only for the add-ons. So, are there any further questions? Yes, here's a question. So, can we run SAP and
Yes.
MS SQL
Yeah. Okay. I have.
or can only one system used by ECC?
Okay, so the question is, when you have extractors on an ECC system or EAP system, like the extractor that I have used for example, for customer master data, you have sure further extractors. It can be for customer master data, for transactions, and so forth. So the question is, can we run this extractor in parallel? So one destination will be, for example, SAP BW, and the other will be, for example, Microsoft SQL Server, as we have done in our webinar. The answer is yes, if it is supported on the BW, on the SAP side. So for example, for 99% of the data sources, that is supported to run them in parallel. Yes, that is supported. And for this extractor, for the general ledger, yes, I know that is supported. We have many customers who are using that without any restrictions.
Okay, perfect. Are there any further questions?
Yeah, I see
So,
here a question about of the license include ERP Connect.
oh yes.
Benny, would you like to answer that?
Yes, that's no problem. ERP Connect is the kernel of our product, but if you want to have ERP Connect as a own product, you have to buy another license. It's not included in Xtract Universal. It's the kernel of Xtract Universal, but it's not included in Xtract Universal as a extra tool. So if you have any question afterwards, you get the presentations with our contact details, and we would be delighted to get in contact with you afterwards. And yeah, I think there are no further questions. No? Okay. Then thank you very much for your attention. Have a great day. And yeah, Koda, would you say last words?
Yes. So thank you so far for your attention. And thank you for your interest. And if you have any questions, just feel free to contact us. Thank you and have a nice day.